Let's create this tunnel card using Cricut Design Space. Let's show you quickly what each part is. So these are our 3 inside frames. This is our front panel. This is our back panel. This is the perfect size to put on the back if you wanted to use a background colour or piece. I didn't use that in my card, but I've left that in there for you. And here are my images. When you want to size your images, you need to grab one of these and use these as your side. As obviously on my card, I've used this as my background. But so you can see what size your elements need to be. These are the frames that will go round the front portions, and these are blank templates for you to make your own shapes for the tunnel card. So you will just take your blank template, slice out your shape, and then duplicate it. This is the blank front, so you've got this. As always, I'm going to reinforce my score lines because I don't like the Cricut score lines, so I just use them as a guide. Now I've finished scoring, I'm just going to get myself a bit organised here because I get myself in a right mess, and I want all the frames now to be glued onto the front of each opening, just to give them a bit more definition and let them stand out. So I'm just going to speed this up because you don't need to watch me do this for every single one. Now I'm going to start assembly. We're going to take the flap from the front panel, the little flap on the front panel, and attach that to the big side of the back panel. I'm using double-sided tape and liquid glue, mainly for speed for the video. I usually wouldn't use the tape as well. Now I'm just going to make sure that's lined up properly. And then I'm just going to use my scoring tool just to really push that together so that they really grip together. And just make sure I've got everything lined up correctly. Now see here, I've got this flap here. That's easily dealt with. I am just going to grab my scissors and I'm going to snip 2 lines just outside of that oval, and then I'm going to cut that bit out, so I've still got the 2 tabs, top and bottom, to connect the front. Now I'm not using a back panel, but as I said in Design Space, the pink panel is for your back panel if you wish to put in, I don't know, a background piece or whatever, but this is going to be I just want the white and the blue. So I'm just trying to line that up so that I can see the best place for it. And then I'm just going to use my scoring tool just to sort of give me a rough idea of where I had it. While I glue that into place. Some liquid glue and my Misty glue press. I love this thing. I get really sore fingers and it really helps make life so much easier. So I'm just popping that on. Make sure it's all smoothed out. It's really delicate, this piece. I probably should have done it out of card rather than glitter paper. But I've done it now. I didn't rip any of it for a change. I'm just going to quickly run over that with my brayer to make sure it's all put down and I don't move it. Trying to make sure it's all stuck down. And now I'm going to go in with my frames to start building up the layers of this tunnel card. I'm having issues speaking today. I've got a bit of a sore throat. Now I'm just double and triple checking that I've got all my measurements right and everything's in the right place, and I'm gluing it in the right place. Once again, just some double-sided tape for speed and a little bit of glue. Now you want to line the edge of your tab up with that score line. So the edge of that tab is right on the score line. Once again, you just want to make sure everything's lined up. And if you hear any strange noises, that's my dog. I'm just going to use my scoring tool to push it down. Make sure everything's lined up correctly. And then we're going to do the same again. So we're working on one side at a time. Now with this piece, once again I'm just going to put my adhesives on. Now with this piece, you are literally going to butt the end of that tab up to the frame, the edge of the frame. Words aren't really working today. Push that down, and you're going to keep doing that till you've added those 3 frames. And we're going to butt that run right up into the last one. Make sure it's all in line. Push it down with my scoring tool. As you can use your fingers, you can use whatever you want for that. Now for this side, I made a mistake. The first one, I folded the score line. For some reason, I forgot to fold the score lines on the others. Make sure you fold them before you glue. So this one, literally just lay them down, then you're going to run your adhesive along each flap. Then obviously I'm doing both tape and glue for speed. It isn't necessary. And then literally just fold that one over. But you do need to remember to fold your score lines before you do this bit, because I didn't. I made it a bit difficult for myself, but it worked anyway. And then this is where I realised I forgot to fold them. So I had to get in there and fold them by hand. And there we go. There, that's all, both sides attached. And as you can see, it will fold down. That will fit in a, I think it's 5x7 square envelope. This card will fit in. Now once again, those 2 just little tabs there, I'm going to tape and glue those. And then I'm just going to fold that bit over and attach that to the front of the card. So it's very simple. And then I'm just going to fold it backwards and forwards to make sure it all folds correctly like it should. Now, I'm just working out where I want these bits to go. I put mine in afterwards because sometimes it might not look the same if you try and glue it first. So I'm just adding in my little bits here so I can sort of figure out where I want them to go. Where do I want the dummy? Where do I want the bottle? I'm popping a little bit of glue on there, and then I'm just grabbing my tweezers. You don't need to use tweezers, you can get in there with your fingers, but I've got fat fingers, so. And then we're just popping that on the layer that we want that element to go on. Wasn't happy with it there, I wanted it twisted out more. This is, I think, is the most fiddly part of the whole thing, is getting your little elements in where you want them. I've only put 2 extra elements inside my card because I have an element that goes on the front. I didn't want too much, but you can put 1 or 2 per layer. It just depends what kind of thing you're going for. It's your card, you do what you want with it. There's my little bits there, and then I've got this bit. All these are images from Design Space, apart from the very back one, which I created in the AI function in Design Space. And then I want these building block things to go on the front. I'm just working out where I need to put glue. For this bit I'm just going to glue and tape, just because it's on the front. And then we're just going to attach that, pop that on. I really love making these cards. They just look so effective when they're done. And they fit in an envelope, which I love even more. So that's done, so just make sure it folds both ways, and I haven't stuck bits together that aren't supposed to be stuck together. Now for my sentiment, I'm quickly going to stamp and die cut my sentiment out, just because I like this sentiment, I like the size of it, and it just is what I envisioned in my head for what I wanted the sentiment to be. So yeah, I've just sped this up a little bit. So I'm just going to put my sentiment on there, quickly ink it up. I'm using VersaFine Claire, just one of my favourite black inks to stamp with. I just quickly die cut that, and now I'm just deciding where I'm going to pop my little sentiment that says "Welcome, little one." So I'm just going to tape this one on. I don't think I put any liquid on, but who knows, it's me. Yeah, I did. I like to make sure things are stuck. So I'll put some glue and tape on that, just using my tweezers, so I've got fat fingers. And I can work out exactly where I want it to sit. I do like to break the planes of the openings just a little bit, especially as it's such a small little sentiment, but the baby's very big, so. And I'm just going to use my reverse tweezers just to hold that bit on there and make sure that it stays on. Here's our finished card. I really hope you like it. The link to the design space will be in the description. Enjoy your day. Thank you. Bye.